Greetings. My name's Henry Walsh. You don't know me. I want to open this up with, I guess, my fellow Americans, just because I've always wanted to say this. Uh, you probably don't know me. Well, actually, if you're on my Facebook wall, which you're probably the only people who are going to see this, then you do know me. Well, let me tell you a little about me and what I stand for, as I agreed today to be Barry Shannon Reusner's running mate, which officially puts me in the running for Vice President of the United States of America in 2016. Although I'm not going to say I'm the most serious of people, what I do truly believe is really damn serious. First of all, I don't believe in political correctness. I'm not a conservative. I'm very liberal leaning. I'm not necessarily a Democrat or a Republican, though I'm running independent with Barry. I want to tell you guys what our base platform is. First of all, I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire. I'm not even a thousandaire. I'm poor. Barry is barely scratching middle class, and he's a small business owner. We know what it's like to be real citizens of the U.S. Not the political elite, not rich, not the wealthy. We know what it's like to be real people. On top of that, I'm also very intelligent, and I'm a member of Mensa. We've kind of put our heads together, and over the years, we've talked and debated, and even though Barry and I have differing beliefs and policies on a lot of things, we're still best of friends, and we believe that's something that's very important. Because too many people get blinded by political affiliation and won't even try to make any kind of compromise. Regardless, let me tell you what I believe in. Personally, I believe that we have lost touch with America and what makes America America. The entire purpose of our country, the entire purpose was for a democratic republic. But it's not that anymore. It's an oligarchic republic. Now, let me explain what that means. This all began in the 80s. And it began with something called Citizens United. The Supreme Court of the United States of America stated that corporations were people, but also could give unlimited money to presidential candidates. Well, to senators and other things as well. Now, let me kind of explain exactly why that's really screwed up. Because you and I can't. Normal people, no, we can't give unlimited amounts of money. We're limited to a very certain amount. This also allowed the formation of something called super PACs, or political action committees, or political action corporations, depending on how you want to say it. Anyway, super PACs, more or less, can give unlimited money and don't really even have to disclose their donors. Which means, well, someone who's really rich, like, say, Charles and David Koch or George Soros, can create a super PAC and then give millions of dollars to this super PAC and write it all off, on taxes, of course. And then all that money can be given to a political candidate of their choice. That's basically circumventing the entire point of limiting how much we can give donations. Some people are like, well, they made Citizens United because money is speech. How I spend my money is how I want to speak. Yes and no. What that does is allow people to buy elections. In the United States, 95% of elections are won by whichever candidate had more money. And that's not because they had people's support. People from out of their state, out of the country even in some cases, have managed to donate money to candidates and help them get elected. That's screwed up. I don't even know how to say that without it sounding wrong. But that's not the only problem. A lot of times, sometimes some of the conservative principles are really right. America does have a spending problem. This spending problem, though, it's not within welfare. The spending problem in the United States has more to do with how much we spend on the military. It's insane. We spend more than the top 5 countries added together. That's nuts. And we don't need it. We spend so much money in the military, our military people end up giving away tanks and armored vehicles to law enforcement, just giving it away because it's too expensive for them to just store it. Obviously, even the military has been in Congress stating they don't need that much money. So maybe it's time to cut some of it. We need to cut some of it and take that money and give it to social programs. Oh my God, you're saying, is this guy a socialist? Yeah, kinda. Not fully, but the fact is, when you're looking at something that takes up that percentage of a budget in the U.S., and then you sit back and say, but hey, the guy who's working in the U.S. military, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, people who are in the U.S. military these days, especially at the lower ranks, actually, most of the time are on food stamps. They're on welfare. Cutting welfare is a blow to them. The problem there is it shouldn't be a blow to them because they shouldn't be on welfare. That's incredibly stupid. I'm not saying they shouldn't qualify if they don't make enough money. I'm saying they should make enough damn money. These are the men and women who are defending our country. That's screwed up. Also, what else is screwed up? What, we're going to spend hundreds of $1,000,000 developing a plane that's better than the best plane in the world? Okay, that's cool and all, and I get the idea of needing to protect our country, but we don't need to spend that much money. There are other uses for that money. Some of that money could go to maybe bolstering the pay of our armed servicemen. The people who are literally so poor, they're defending our country and getting welfare benefits because they don't make enough. Some people in the armed services have second jobs. Some dude is out there being a soldier and then he's delivering pizzas after hours? Come on, people, that's stupid. What about the guy who's literally sitting back and busting his hump 40 hours a week flipping burgers? Yeah, people are like, well, that's an entry-level job for teenagers. Bullcrap, that dude's in his late 20s. That's common in the U.S. Why? Because that's just how the job market's gone. It's time we start reinvesting in people here in the U.S. Forget this crap about we have to cut taxes. No, we don't. No, we need to raise some taxes. We need to raise some revenue. We need to start taking things that are serious and look at them as serious issues. Here's one. How about the private student loans? Let's look at how screwed up that crap is. Let's say I have a private student loan and a federal student loan. The federal student loan, I can't discharge in bankruptcy. That's cool, but it also can be repaid based on my income. So if I go to college and I end up not making it in my career, or maybe my career tanks, or the economy takes a dive, kind of like it did in 2008, it's okay because they'll adjust how much I owe. Try that crap with private student loans. I still can't discharge them, but they can come after you and hound you and hound you and hound you until you nearly commit suicide. And in fact, many people have committed suicide over that reason. It's an inescapable thing, and that's stupid. My view on that, real simple. If they want the same protections as a federal loan, where it can't be discharged in bankruptcy, then they need to play by the same damn rules as a federal student loan, which means mandatory repayment options that are based on income and are fair. And if they don't want to do that, then maybe they shouldn't make those investments. And even better, if they don't want to do that, maybe we should take some of that percentage of the military budget and put it into making sure that people can go to college in the U.S. without having to take out loans like that. Why don't we invest in the future of the people here? But no one's talking about that. Nah, they're too busy pandering about illegal immigration. Look, yes, illegal immigration can be a problem. But I don't think it's the most dire thing that happened in the U.S. right now. I think more dire is that there are people here who are citizens here who can't find decent jobs and are getting choked by debt, and no one's doing anything to help them. None of these politicians give a damn about the small business. The guy who runs a tiny business in a small town somewhere who's struggling to get by, been in business for 5 years, is barely making it. No one's talking about relief plans for those guys. But oh no, Goldman and Sachs is having some money problems. Let's funnel them some billions of dollars. Nah, that's not how it needs to be done. We need to pay more attention to the normal people in this country. We need to start paying attention to helping the poor, improving education, improving our roads, improving our bridges. Spend some of that money that we're spending on F-22 Raptors that can kill 16 targets at 100 miles, and maybe see if we can improve maybe 100 miles of road. How about that? Generate some jobs locally. Also, it's time for us to smack the corporations. If they're going to hire people who aren't American citizens, and that's going to be their primary workforce, then they need to start paying higher taxes because they aren't creating any jobs here. Why are we giving them subsidies and tax breaks? They're not helping us. In fact, they're helping other countries. This is what I would call, at its core, corporate welfare. And that's what we're doing. We don't want to help the welfare queens, quote unquote, as far as some politicians are saying. But they're all about helping out Walmart. Walmart don't need your help. They already got theirs. If you're a millionaire who's making $130 million a year, I got news for you. You can pay an extra $10 million in taxes. Why? Because if you're making $130 million a year, you ain't starving if we take that extra $10 million from you. But if we raise taxes on, say, the poor dude who's bringing home maybe $1,600 a month, he loses $300, suddenly he got a problem. We need to focus on that. I know that people are like, well, I got mine because I worked hard. You're trying to redistribute the wealth. You're damn right I'm trying to redistribute the wealth. Because that's how this country works. It's always worked that way. This myth that we don't ever redistribute anything, that's hogwash. We've redistributed since day one. Some people are trying to rewrite history. And people are saying, Henry, aren't you attacking the Republicans a bit here? Yeah, I kind of am. But I'm also being dead honest. And I'm going to attack the other side too when I see something I need to attack. But right now, I'm seeing all these things, horrible things, because I live in the South. And this is what these people are saying. And they don't know what they're talking about. And let's face it, we have very divisive politics. Yeah, the Democrats say horrible things about the Republicans, and then the Republicans say horrible things about the Democrats. And some of it is more true than others. Some of it is completely not true. Some of it is just complete hogwash, and some of it is incredibly stupid. I'm not going to lie. I've heard people say some really ignorant stuff in my ears. President Obama is not an American. Yeah, he is. Okay, that train is left. Benghazi was nothing. 7 commissions didn't find squat with it. Okay? Those are true facts, and I'm tired of hearing that as talking points because it's stupid. If we want to talk about issues, let's talk about serious issues. Let's not get distracted by rhetoric. Let's talk about what's the real problem here. Why don't we have grants to help small businesses across the U.S. that are easily available? Why do they have to kind of fend for themselves? For small businesses, the guy who needs a couple grand to keep going, why don't we ever look at that? Instead, we're looking at tax subsidies for oil. Dude, oil has plenty of money, okay? They don't need our help. They've never needed our help. You know who needs our help? How about we look into universal health care? Obviously, this Obamacare thing didn't work. I'll be the first person to say it didn't work. And yeah, I know. Some people are like, well, hey, let's repeal and replace. Replace it with what? Ain't no one got a good plan. If you want to replace Obamacare, I'm all for it, but let's replace it with universal health care. Let's guarantee everyone in the U.S. has health care. It might not be a Cadillac health plan, but let's replace it with a health plan that's paid for by taxes. And if we have to raise the taxes on the wealthy to do that, that's fine. They live in this country too. And let's face it, that's helping their own bottom line. Because every citizen that lives in this country is another citizen that can buy their stuff. That's the truth. If we're going to go ahead and do this, let's look at this logically. Do you want your own people who supply your income to die? If you do, then yeah, let's keep the system the way it is. That makes a whole lot of sense. Kill off your own customer base. Good job there. No. Give a little. Cut your own taxes. I mean, not taxes. Cut your own budgets. Dude, if there's a CEO of, say, a major food chain who says, oh, well, we can't afford to pay our people an extra up to $10 an hour because that would raise the cost of our food. But hey, you know what? We just gave our CEO an extra $160 million a year raise. What the hell? That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. Look at yourself. Look at how stupid that statement sounds, because that was an actual statement made by a major fast food chain. If you can afford to give the head of your company a $160 million a year raise, you can afford to raise your people up from $7.25 an hour to $10 an hour. Simple. You can. Don't lie and say you got to raise prices on food if you do that, because you don't, because you didn't raise any prices when you raised the CEO's pay. People are like, wow, you're getting excited, you're getting yelling. Yes, because I got passion. It's because I actually give a damn. I see people suffering and scraping every day, and they're not getting any help. Our entire town, the town I live in, is drying up. It ain't getting any help. And you know why? Because no one cares. All Washington politicians care about right now is getting as much money as they can to keep getting reelected, and they'll do whatever it takes to do that. If that means giving their friends, their big donors, tax cuts, they'll do it. If that means giving them lucrative contracts, they'll do it. If that means writing little sections into the law that will help that company, they'll do it. I'm not going to do it. I care about real people. And sure, maybe this campaign won't get far beyond where I'm at. Maybe it will. Maybe it'll reach one person who will actually listen. And if so, then heck yeah, mission accomplished. Anyway, I'm Henry Walsh. And this is my introduction to who I am and what I believe. I believe in people. I believe in small business. And I believe that America can be great again if we take it back. God bless America, guys.